day and age, employers are often looking at applicants through Facebook, through Twitter, through their profiles, and maybe on LinkedIn. Is this something that happens in medical school admissions?
I don't have the time to do that.
That's what I would say too.
I mean, truly, I don't have the time. I start reading applications in early August, and I don't finish until February. And the last thing I'm going to do is check out someone's Facebook page. I'm not interested in their Facebook page because to me that's their personal information. I want to see a good old-fashioned application put together that talks about you and why medicine. If you keep making references to your Facebook page, that may lead some discussion to looking at it. But I'm personally, I've never checked anyone's Facebook page, never.
I would say, though, that interviewers might, if they're aware of who they're interviewing enough time beforehand. In particular, I'm thinking our medical students that might do that. Because our medical students leading up to residency interviews tend to be very careful about how they are on Facebook and other things. I would say that, you know, sometimes for traditional students that transition from undergraduate school into professional school is a little bit rocky. I think that they need to start reflecting that they are applying to professional school.
Yes.
And to reflect back on, are there things that are inappropriate on their Facebook that perhaps, you know, they need to think about? Is that necessary anymore? Do they need to share those kinds of things? Because, you know, we teach courses in medical school about professionalism and just the expectation. And not only that, but even as student doctors, there's a higher level of expectation, societal expectation on these students. And I mean, they're seeing patients along with their attendings and residents and so on. And you know, people hold them at a higher level and have higher expectations. So I think they need to already start reflecting on those things on their own.
We tell them about that orientation of freshman year.
Yeah.
That if you're on the pre-med track, you have selected yourself to be a pre-professional. And you are a tribe apart, and you are not held to the same standards of the general society. You're held to a higher standard. And so start behaving it.
This is somewhat related to, so I think it's a good time to mention it. You know, on the AMCAS application, you can list up to 15 activities. And oftentimes we've seen people refer to an activity where they may have a link to a video on YouTube, or they may have an article that they've written. Their interviewers, their screeners, may in fact go to that link or go to that article. And that's another reason why you should know what you've written, because if they ask you questions based on research, and your interviewer may in fact be an expert in that area, and they find out your answers are rather shallow, that can reflect negatively on you. You know, so some people do have the time to do a little additional research into the applicant, you know, by looking up such things. We give them the names several days in advance of their interview. We give the interviewers the names and applications several days in advance, so they actually can do some research about who it is they're about to interview.